Welcome, Humira. Welcome. I'm here. 3 minutes late. This is Tools of Fortune. And we're here to answer your questions. Welcome. Do you have a question? I am Andra Burke. Welcome. I am recovering from a bad asthma attack. Something in my environment really blew my asthma out. Yeah, I think it might be like the scented candle, something. But I got I'm going to be coming on earlier. I do like the late night ones because I'm more open on the late nights. I'm more open on in the morning or late nights, and maybe I'll try and if I don't know if it's possible, but if it were possible, I would try to go to bed early and then get up and start doing this at 4 a.m. But let's go for a question if anybody has a question. I was thinking about balance, and even the page number I drew was all about balance. Balance, being rebalanced. 222, the angel number 222, for me is about balancing expectations against reality. And the title of this live stream is provided to you by Maria. No, she's not here, but Maria talked about adult problems, and that's what we got going on, huh? Adult problems. And so how are all you guys doing? All right, we'll start right out. Today's the 27th. So, Humira, are you actually talking with Shawanza? Are you talking with this fellow, or are your questions based more out of like wishful thinking? Are you hoping to talk to him in September, or it's less contact? Okay. So we're going to ask the question. What you want to know is what will because you are talking to him, but it's less contact. What will H N A W A Z what move I'm gonna change the will to what move. I need a different card altogether. I've made too many mistakes here. So what move will SHAHNAWAZ, make in our relationship next. Is that in September? I can't write today. In September, or what move will he be making next? That's essentially what your question is. Okay, what move will be next in his relationship? All right. Mary. We're seeking the truth right now. Humor has a estranged relationship with Sean was. She wants to know what he will do next. All right. This is the intention, the question. You want to know what he will do next, like in September. What moves will he make in your relationship? What moves will he make in their relationship? Okay. I'm going to do 4 cards. I'm going to just see what those cards say. Well, first off, I see that there's an imbalance in your relationship, and all the power is on his side. And he's following rules or traditions that are established by his family, how he interprets his societal rules, his religious rules, his family rules. He's strongly following those rules. And he's coming into a place where he's in a position of his own power here. But there's a lack of balance. There's no balance here. It's no heart. It's all about work, about following the rules, about being the leader. But as far as the heart is concerned, he's out of balance. Will he be making any moves? It looks as though he is going to just stay plain working, listening, following rules, following the tradition, trying to come into his power. But let's just see what and then what is the outcome of this? The outcome is that he has problems with his self-esteem. Now he does crave attention. He wants attention, He wants attention. But underneath it all, he lacks confidence. He lacks confidence to make any moves other than doing what he has control over. And what he has control over is work. He has control over, following the rules. He has control over being in control. He's trying to be in control here with the emperor. So when I ask that question, maybe what he's going to do next is absolutely nothing. He's not, because what it looks to me is like he's stuck in this place, and I see no evidence that he's going to do anything other than what he's already doing. In the sense of being out of balance, not and then this is one thing, being out of balance, but then this other thing is he has no confidence to okay, we'll ask that question. Well, let's just take a look. I want to see what these numbers are. They're all a lot of major arcana numbers. We got 9. They're 9 and 19, 20, 23, 5, and okay. So your next question is we're going to just ask this as a yes/no question. Gaane Suno, welcome. Will he contact soon? Let's go run 3-card yes/no. Let me do some shuffling here. I'm gonna just turn the cards. I'm gonna mix them around. Let's move this out of the way. Got my little bird out there. Okay. I'm going to just do 3 shuffles here, and then I will start shuffling for the yes/no. I'm just mixing things up. I'm going to cut the deck here. I'm going to flip it around this way. All right. So the question is will he contact you soon? Will he contact you soon? Will he break out of his prison and contact you soon? Okay, so you can just tell me when to stop shuffling when you think it's the right time. Will he contact Humira soon? Okay. Oh, a love card. But actually it looks like no. He's not ready to do that. He's not in balance. And he's feeling like he can't break out of whatever's going on. There's the compatibility, the initial relationship which was there, but then he is giving in to those that he's fighting against. And he's coming at this from a place of dishonesty. There is no justice here. 4, 11. So it's really it is his feeling he's out of balance. He's out of balance. And he's lost in his own lies. Lost in injustice or lies. There's no honesty here. Maybe in October. How long have you been waiting for this guy? And again, the Emperor card has come up again. It sits on the bottom. So he's trying to make the rules here. Welcome, Chloe. Maybe we want to ask the question, will he ever contact you? We'll just ask, will he contact in October? He comes when he wants to, and then he disappears. Do you have any mutual friends with him? Will he contact Humira in your family friends? So your families are friends. All right. All right. This is for October. Will he contact you in October? All right. Well, maybe. This is a soft yes. Maybe he'll contact you in October. Maybe the fog of his lies will lift, and he'll gain, gain some confidence, and he'll come at this from a place of honesty. So this is pretty positive here. But you can look how the same cards have been coming up all the time here. That's kind of interesting. So maybe he'll come and contact you in October. Yeah. So why do you like this guy? Yeah. So your family friend. So how long have you known him? Since your kids? Hmm. So maybe he'll contact you in October. Okay. Then it grew into more. But then he's distant from you. So how long has he been distant from you? My contact number. You mean my personal contact number? I may be getting a Google Voice number eventually. So something else has happened. All right, well, let's go take a look at what is the vibe going on here. Well, I have my email address that's in my channel header page. You can contact me there. I mean, would you like to have like a Zoom meeting or something? My Well, I only have my own personal cell phone number, and at this point in time, I'm not necessarily willing to. Okay. Well, I may be getting a Google Voice number soon. It all depends on me getting another phone number that I can attach it to. Welcome, Kaz. Kaz from the land down under. Yeah, I had a Vegemite sandwich today. Yeah, I want to see what the vibe is of how do you pronounce his name? Shanawas. Okay, Shanawas. What is going on with Shanawas? Oh, Discord. No, I don't use it. Well, I have used some Discord. I think I'm using an AI art generator or that I in Discord. Nightwish or what I don't know what it was called. I've been collecting credits there. All right, I want to see what the vibe is of on Shanawa. What is it? Shanawas. Hmm. Okay, let's go on with Shanawas. I'll look into that. Thank you, Kaz. Looks like this stuff has just flipped out of it. What flipped out of it is if I were to read reversals, he's not very happy, and he feels as though he is shattered, and he's broken. He's has failed in his life. He feels as though he's a failure. And that in that shatteredness, there's no joy. Oh, and it's also just for friends. I see. Okay. Broken. Living your life in a nightmare. And so there's he's living the consequences of his bad choices. He's playing games with you. Playing games with you. Well, those other two cards are the ones that just flipped right out. You saw it. They flipped out. So in a sense, when we had that sense of that justice card that came up twice, once in the upright position and once in the downright position, you're looking at this sense of this of justice and the rebalancing and the balancing and then the out of balance. He's out of balance. He's not coming from this situation of I don't know if that's what you want to call some that there are he's made bad choices, and from that there are consequences to the decisions that he's made. So maybe it's some karma going on. Has he had has he had an affair? Is that what's going on? Did he does he have a girlfriend? I mean, or some is there something else that he's living? Is there like something else in his that he's not honest about? what I mean, is there anything that's like really hidden in there? Something that he hides from everybody, and that that a reality, because we all have stuff. We all have stuff that that we hide away. Everybody has that, and when you don't acknowledge that, you don't acknowledge your devil inside, you know, you don't acknowledge when you don't acknowledge the fact that you do have a devil inside. Every single one of us has one of these devils inside of us for multiple different things, whatever that is. You hide that away because you're ashamed of it, whatever it is. Maybe you know it it can come out as person making bad choices. You end up making bad choices by having that, or if it's like some kind of a compulsion, being compelled, or obsessive behavior. And yeah, so if you're like looking at like some obsessive behavior, or maybe it's a maybe he's into like pornography or something like that. That he's got some usually for younger men, it's usually some sexual thing is usually the things that they're hard things to control when you are, and it's hard to control at any time, but you have your religious and your societal pressures that say these things, and then you you experience a different reality. You experience something different, and those inner drives, and so what religion says, what society says, and those things are often in conflict to what really goes on within the human body, within the human mind, and especially for younger, for people under certain ages. So we're looking at the devil inside, and that devil is causing some trouble. Okay, well, I'm just, when I say that, I'm just making a guess, because men, I don't know, the males have these issues. I mean, they have these issues, especially if they're young men. I mean, young men have these issues because of how much testosterone is flowing through your system. And all right, well, let's see. I'll ask the question. The question that keeps popping into my head, and I don't really want to ask this, but it just keeps popping into my head over and over again, is welcome, Hadi bin Ashrad, welcome. Is he bisexual? So the question I'm going to ask, and this is maybe not something you wanted to know. Oh. So Yeah. Well, how about we? How about because actually because the what does he struggle? I'm going to ask this. Struggle with same-sex attraction. I know it just popped in my head multiple times, and so I'm just gonna go with it. We're gonna ask that question, and it's just a yes no. We're gonna ask this. Yeah. Okay. Because if you really want to look, if because there are because if you want to just look at things, if we're just going to look at things, and we're going to society tells us that we can't have this stuff, but then on one level you have your movie star heroes, and we all have we have if we're really really honest with ourselves, we all have like same sex crushes, and they're generally like celebrities, and they're not necessarily sexual things, but they are. But when okay, all right, let me just go here. We're going to I'm going to ask the question: does he struggle with same-sex attraction? All right. Does he struggle with same-sex attraction? Two cards just popped out, and right now it's iffy. Okay. So it's possible that he does struggle with same-sex attraction. This might be why, one of the reasons why, and um, in trying to sort this stuff out, and wants to in that he wants to he's holding this stuff on, but he wants to let loose and be himself, getting in touch with his inner being. But because it's a struggle, he's just in a place, he's just in a standstill. He can't move forward because of whatever those things, the rules. You have to abide by what the family says. You have to abide by what the religion says, the hierophant, the be the man, be the emperor, be in power and control of yourself. But maybe deep inside, he wants to let loose. He wants to be himself. And so in that, this is a possibility. In that and this has made a sense of shattering his whole internal identity, because culturally we are not supposed to have same-sex attraction. But not all same-sex attraction means what a person thinks it means, because just the acknowledgement of that it's something that one has to sort through. And if you don't get any help from family, you don't get any help from the religious establishment. You that so if you have if you struggle, because in some sense, on one level, many men struggle with same-sex attraction at one time in their life. They ask that question. And but a lot of times it doesn't mean what you think it means. As you get older, you gain some perspective, and there are things like that. You when one gets older, they do have some perspective on their life and are able to sort some of these things out. But yeah, okay, he's being too mysterious. So this is something that may be an issue for him. He's trying to stay in place, treading water, but he's his inner voice is telling him something else. And in that, he wants to let go of what society, what culture, what religion, let go of that and then be free. And then maybe in a sense of being self-indulgent. In this place of trying to fill that void with anything else, anything other than what it is one is experiencing inside. Hmm. So what does he want from you? Let's just take a look at it here. What does he want from you? What does he want from Himuro? What does he want from you? Looks like all these cards just popped out. Didn't even get. We have everyone leaves. He wants lust. He wants sex. But he's afraid. He's afraid because everyone leaves. Okay. Well, he may keep coming back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't feel inside that everyone leaves. What does he want? He wants his lust. He wants to be in this is what he wants. Maybe, but maybe he's not thinking about a long-term question long-term love. Maybe he's only thinking about short-term. Long-term connection. Let's just see. Long-term love. Long-term love. Does he want long-term love? Hmm. All right. Does he want long-term love? Does he want long-term love? Does he want long-term love? It looks like no. He doesn't want long-term love. It's a soft no. He wants something less than that. He doesn't want to be bound. He doesn't want to be bound in a relationship. He wants to be able to get out in any time, seek new opportunities, whatever those opportunities may be. And he doesn't want to be in a position where he's always feels afraid. So at this point in time, he's not seeking long-term love. He's seeking for short-term, short-term things. Where the welcome, Levi's, where you can chase after any new opportunity that may come along. And there again, he's in a standstill. So it's been years. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just, this might just, what we're looking at, this is just that energy of this moment. Because you've known him for years, it doesn't mean because people change, and people go through different things. But he's kind of at a place he's stopped. He's stuck. And this is not the first time this card has come up today in your question. It has been a continual, this being stuck in place has been coming up all along. Okay, Levi's, did you have a question, or are you just all right? So, Humara, did you have another question, or can we go move on to so he cannot process all this information. It's a lot. You know, there's a lot. You know, if a person is struggling with things, struggling with things inside, Levi's, I can try the dreams. No more questions. All right. I can try the dreams. I I struggle with dreams myself. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's what Cass said. So when I look at what's in the chat, Levi's, so what I have here is two other people who want to ask some questions. There's um, Hadi, and Levi's, Levis. So who's first? Why don't we come back around? I'll just kind of hang out here and let's do. I'm gonna go do these two folks and then we'll come back and ask. Hmm. Would he say yes or no? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he might say. Okay, Levi's can go first. All right. And so what is your dream? What is your dream, Levi's? What's your dream, Levi? Just kind of. Shall I ask the question? What was the meaning of Levi's dream? And we'll see if there's anything remotely close. I'm gonna ask it that way because you know what the dream was. I do not know the dream, and you'll have to. Okay. What were these people? What did these people mean to you? So those each one of those people were parts of your personality, imprisoned, and then okay. What did Levi's dream mean? I had a dream similar to that the other day. What did what did dream mean? So I'd like to establish myself. There's three people, so four people total. So we had four individuals, four people. Jailed, jailed, shot, then released. Okay, so what does that mean? Hmm. Hmm. Well, okay. I want to go see Let's go look at... We're going to ask what the vibe of that dream was. So what is the vibe of Levi's dream? What is the energy behind Levi's dream? Oh, I forgot. I need to do one thing first here. Let's go clear the air out so we can be ready for this in this spot. Bring ourselves to this moment in time. Levi's has had a perplexing dream. I'm being paged. I'll be right back. Apologize. Let me finish this. We'll clear the air. My sister called my mother and come with some political thing she heard on the news, and so my mom had to tell me about it. I think it was very important, but I don't know. Here we go. Let's go clear the air, and I want to get back right here to right here and now. So Levi's has a dream, question about his dream. He wants to know what it all means. What does Levi's dream mean? Okay. Mother Mary, please tell us the truth right now about Levi's dream. What was the general energy? What was the energy behind the dream? What can you tell us? What can you reveal to us? Levi's, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling here, please. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Just tell me when to stop. When you feel like it's time for me to stop shuffling, just say stop. What does that dream mean? If you're still there, just tell me when to stop. Okay? So you have some paranoia here about this. Your insecurity being guarded. It's being a releasing of your paranoia. Okay, so let me just find out. We'll go here and say what else does it say more? Being like this cat. Some antisocial feelings. Being left out. The need to apologize for something. So stuck deep inside. A lot of it's about your own insecurities here. You're being guarded, and wanting to let go of your antisocial behaviors, or to be released from being stuck inside your head. Having a you have these different things, and so inside you feel like you are a prisoner inside your mind, and there's a part of yourself that you want to let out. And so what this dream means, in a sense, is that there's that part of you that you are trying to process through, that represents these people, different aspects of your personality, and the law being the authorities. That might be what that law may mean to you. It may mean your the rules and regulations that govern your society, maybe family lies. A lot of times what that is childhood trauma. Okay, you have childhood, well, everybody has childhood trauma, but you want to get over that and let that not be the thing that dominates your existence, and be able to be freed from that. You are in jail, and then you are released from jail. And what the law has done is that the story that you are being governed by is something that you can let go of. Your inner brain is telling you you can let go of that stuff and be shed of it so that you can go free. Let's just see if the tarot has anything else to say about it. We're just going to leave these cards down here. And I'm going to just mix the cards up just a little bit. I'm going to shuffle 3 times, and then I'm going to shuffle. I'm just going to mix the ups and the downs around. Try to get a more sense of what it is that you need to release. And so I'm gonna rewrite this question: is what does Levi need to release? What does he need to release? What does he need to be freed of? What does Levi need to be freed from? All right. What does Levi's need to be freed from? What does he need to release in order to be free? You can tell me when to stop shuffling. What does Levi need to release? Maybe I shouldn't have put those back. But if they pop up again, Okay? Okay, what you need to release is, and I see about, is that you have a lot of anxiety. Laying awake at night about your problems, being things that give you worries. You need to release your worries. And so you can see in this card, these swords are like a ladder, and you can choose. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy, Levi. Some of these things, this is going to be probably a lifelong process to do this, to crawl out of this pit into a new life, free from that which you feel imprisoned by, that gives you so much worry and anxiety. In one sense, with this, you're stuck in place. You need to move on. Move on from these worries. Move on from these things that keep you up at night. Things that you feel you need to, you know, to, you need that these things that you need to release or get rid of in your life. Move away from that. So in some sense, maybe what's going on, one of the things that you are doing is you are seeking things that can fill that void in your life. That can fill that void in your life and cover up your anxieties and just smooth over your anxieties, cover them up with these things, different practices. That could be maybe your use. Maybe that could be like use of substances. If you're using alcohol or other things, that's something that you need to get rid of that too, because it's not really doing you any favors. If you're habitually using alcohol, that will it will not be your friend. It's not a friend. If you like, okay, you occasionally you go have some beers with a buddy, or you go have a drink. Well, that's one thing. And that we're not talking about that. Or if you like work in the industry and you are a bartender or something like that, you are going to have alcohol in your life, but that alcohol in your life may be more or less of an occupational thing. And we're not talking about that either. I'm talking about if you are using substance, but you may not be. So, but that's just as an example. As an example, is that it um, for everyone, if you have intoxicants in the long run will not help any of your problems. That's it. I mean, whatever those things are. Now, maybe it could be anything. Too much of anything, nicotine. Yeah, I had that problem too. I used it. It took me forever. It took me 30 years to get off of nicotine. 30 years. I mean, yeah, and I understand that how that nicotine feels like it fills a void, but then it just doesn't. You have some immaturity, and so you need to. This is saying you need to grow up a bit. Be a little less impulsive in your actions. And be less impulsive. I mean, I still struggle with impulsivity. So don't think, this is like growing up is hard. It's really hard. But that's like something, if you one of the things that can help you to grow up a little faster is to take care of other people. That in one fashion. So if you give yourself to others, let's say if it's like volunteering down at a soup kitchen, handing out food at a bread line, or helping people who are less fortunate through service work, and giving of yourself to others is a way to grow up. Another way to grow up, other than getting married and having children, which can help you to grow up fast. And sometimes too fast, especially if you financially are not able to take care of kids, is you can get a dog. If you in your living situation you can have an animal, dogs, and be very kind to them and take them for walks and feed them, take them to the vet, making sure that they live happy, healthy lives. Well, caring for others is one way that we as human beings can grow up. And when you care for others, it helps you to put your life into perspective. And when you put your life into perspective, yes, in that sense of caring, it does help to fill some voids. Welcome, Maria. Caring for others makes those anxieties you have in the middle of the night less so. Gives you something else to think about. And another thing that you need to release is that to get better coping skills that so you can cope better with how you deal with your inner woundedness. Your inner woundedness. Maria, this I titled this session after something you said the other day, adult problems. And so I'm shouting out to you, Maria, about adult problems, and that's what we're talking about here, adult problems. So if you are engaging in behaviors that where you're trying to shift responsibility to other people, because ultimately we are responsible for our own lives, and being responsible for our own health care, for our own mental health to a certain degree. And so if it means you need to go see a counselor, that means taking responsibility for yourself and not trying to bully people. Bullying people um, is a poor way of coping with if you take the things that you got in your inside and you're trying to project it out onto other people. That is a poor coping skill for your life. And so this means that you need to go seek counseling, then you need to seek counseling, because sometimes those childhood traumas that we have are so bad that we need a guide to help us out of those holes that we're in. Because I saw a therapist for a year and a half for anxiety, because I suffer with anxiety from time to time all throughout my life. It's really hard when you're young. It's really hard when you're alone to to you know, to suffer through these things. And then sometimes the things that we are, like, for instance, I look at one of the things that half of my anxiety attacks that I had in my life were caused because I have asthma. Asthma, which is, I think I pretty well, whether I was born with asthma or I got it because I used tobacco for 30 years. It could have been tobacco damage, but I definitely have tobacco damage, which I call the asthma. And so a good deal of, and so understanding that makes some of those anxieties go away. But it is when you get those asthma attacks, they are pretty damn scary in a sense. And so that can cause, a lot of things in our health can cause that. So in one sense, Levi, I'm actually in this place too. Been working on yourself, yeah. In a sense of having, instead of facing my problems, you try to fill it up with something else. And these are things that are hard. These are hard things to deal with. And so, but what did your dream mean? Your dream meant is that maybe you are working on these things. Welcome, Cheryl. Welcome. So you're working on these things. These are these issues that are in your dream that you have to release. And you know what? You're working on it. Levi's, you're working on it. You're going forward. You're going forward. You're going forward. And that's important, to go forward in your life and to not give up. To not give up. And so, like, I think I did say about in growing up, part of the thing in growing up is to work on service of others. And that's always a good thing, to serve other people in a sense of, I mean, these are like really like Jesus things. These are like deep Jesus things. And you may not be a follower of that, which is okay. But that's kind of what a lot of holy people have talked about in those mythologies is about needing to love and to serve other people, and we love through our actions. And if you look at Jesus as a prophet, Jesus as an ascended master who came to give us some guidelines on how to live, I mean, that's one of the ways you can look at it. You open up the Jefferson Bible. Thomas Jefferson, I think he was the president, the third or the fourth president of the United States. He went through the Bible with a razor blade and cut out everything he felt was unimportant. He cut out all the miracles, the magic. He cut out the resurrection, the ascension, and all of that stuff. And it just down to the core message. And oftentimes, when it comes to our religious texts or whatnot, that's probably some of the best things you could do for yourself, is to go through and cut out all the bullshit, cut the bullshit out, and just go to the core message to help you to go forward. And in a sense, I think that, in one sense, I see that this is a pretty positive thing, but that you're working on it, and you're working on it, you're moving forward. And that dream shows to me is that you are working on releasing those problems that bind you into the darkness. You were shocked. And then you were born again. And you were imprisoned. And you were released. And now you're free. That's what that dream tells me. Okay, if you're still there, I'm hoping that was helpful. Nine, let's see, 17, 17, 20, what is 17 plus 7? Let's do these cards and those cards. We're looking at two different. So, Cheryl, are you... So, Levi, if you're still there, welcome. Hadi. I'm going to see what the energy numbers of these are. We got like 7 and 9. That's 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So you're thinking about it. We have 7. And then we have the other number, 14. 14. Oh, you think Levi's is gone. Okay. Well, maybe his internet collapsed. 14 plus 8. You're welcome, Levi's. I hope that helped. So I can see that you're thinking about things. It's 14 plus 8. It's like 12 of, okay, that's 22. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. 22 is 4. So in a sense, we're looking at what is telling me this numerically. You're looking at, you need to think about things, man, and then you also need to work on your foundation. So you got to work on your foundation, the foundational issues of your life. And that number 4 was in your dream too, Levi's. That number 4 was in your dream. And so 7, you're thinking about things. You need to think about things, but you also need to work on your foundation because your foundation is lacking. And so what that foundation is, maybe your spiritual life, your physical life. But in this case, we're thinking about your psychological, your psychological, spiritual well-being. You need to work on that. And so, like what I said, you know, care for others. You know, you can just look at this. Go back and look at this. Thank you very much, anyways. Okay, good. I'm glad that you found that helpful. Okay, now let's clear the hair. And Hadi, did you have a question? Yes, it's your turn. You can ask your question, but let's clear the air first. Hadi has a question. Let's bring our minds to Hadi and to what Hadi's question is. All right. Today's what, the 27th? I should mark that one too. 8/27. Eventually, when I can burn again, I'm gonna just burn up all the questions and release them into because I have a big stack of questions. Okay. Yeah, because it's fire season, so I can't burn. Or now, it's still fire season. All right. When will... Okay. Hadi is struggling financially. When will Hadi's finances stabilize? When will they? When will there or hmm. Well, you know what, Hadi? Most people struggle financially when they're early on in their life. Um, Oftentimes, people's finances, because oftentimes people's finances, they stabilize out when they cross over 40 years of age. Someplace between 40 and 70 is when most people's um, finances sort of stabilize out. So it's not when. I think it's will. You're asking the question of will because I don't know that I can answer when, but we can answer will. And maybe you need to get a new job, but then you also want to look at the fact that there are yeah, will they soon? We're gonna just do a yes no on a will, and it'll probably and okay. I'm gonna get a sip of water here. I'm just now starting to wake up, even though I woke up several hours ago. But I drank 4 espressos plus an entire pot of tea, and yeah, yeah. You know, if it's any consolation to you, I caregive for my mother, and I sacrificed my income a few years ago, and this is how much money I make. This is how much money that I have. This is what my income has been for the last 3 years. Is zero. That's what my income is. And but I have a place to live. I have food, plenty to eat, and I get a little bit of money, not too much. Yeah, I hope so. I hope that I don't get like rewarded with, you know, rewarded with, with homelessness or something like that. That's kind of what I fear that. That's one of my fears. It's been a lifelong fear. You know, being cast out onto the street when when my when the last of my parents passes on. But I'm going to start shuffling, and we're going to ask the question is, will Hadid's finances stabilize? It's a 3-card yes, no, and you're going to tell me, Hadid, when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling. When do you feel it's time when I've shuffled enough and the cards, looks like 2 of the cards popped out already. All right. So in the near term, it doesn't look like they're going to stabilize out. So in the short term, In the short term, what it shows is there's a self-limiting going on. You have limited yourself somehow to this. But the positives here is that the fog will lift up and you'll be able to free yourself from this, but you're going right into a place where you're just not feeling happy about what is going on. And so in the near term, will your finance, you're going to struggle because there's probably something you got to learn from struggling financially. And so let's just take a look at the bottom card here. So it's in this sense, there's what's going on, and this is the nearest term, is that you're kind of in place. You're not moving. So the direction is sort of chaotic, and it's chaotic and feeling in a sense. You feel what you're feeling right now and what you will be feeling in the near future is you're going to be feeling like you're just limited. You're in this self-made prison. You are, of course, there's a fog, but the fog is lifting and you're seeing what's going on. And what you're seeing is that this stuff is making you unhappy. You're unhappy, and as a result, you're not traveling in the direction you want to go. So is changing jobs an option? Can you become self-employed? Is that a possibility? If you can be a master of your own finances. So it may be, Hadi, that you need to spend a bit more time thinking why. Why are you struggling? Other than the fact that the dollar number is not there, you're working too hard. And okay, so you are self-employed. Okay. Okay. Well, Hadi, I come from a family of, and I've been self-employed too, and there's always a struggle. So, being that you're struggling financially, you're self-employed, I'm gonna tell you, you need to hang on, man. Don't quit. So what you're looking at, this is your like an issue of your emotional support, and maybe your family doesn't support you. Maybe you need to ask. Maybe they don't support you because they're pissed off at you because you're struggling. Your finances are struggling, and so the thing that you need to do then, what I'm seeing is that you need to find some more direction, be more directionality. And so in your sales trading and those things, you're kind of like a leaf in the wind. And so you're kind of blowing around, and you have no control over what the outcome of these trades are. And which is true, because a lot of times when it comes to trading and to selling and things, we don't have much control over this stuff because we're just like one person, and you are in this big giant system. And so it sounds like to me is that you need to spend a bit more time looking, really looking, examining your, examining what you're spending your money on when it comes home. And so if it means not going out to eat, you probably aren't doing any of those things. And so about how to live within your means, because that's really tough. It's really tough to to live within your means, and um, when you're living on credit and so forth. I mean, if you were in the United States, and I don't know where you're at, but let me see. Do I have? I have room on the other side, because my financial, my system is. Let me take a look at these numbers here. We're looking at your upside down numbers. We have 8, which is the manifestation of whatever, and then we're looking at 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 5. So I'm gonna 5 and 8 here, 5 and yeah. So in a sense, you're in a place where you are unable to change. What I see here is that you have these goals and dreams to manifest wealth, but nothing is changing, and you're just stuck in place. That's what these two numbers here tell me. Now, if I were to look at, I don't know, when I bartended and I lived on tips, I have my whole banking, even though my income is down at 0, my whole banking structure is set up for somebody for self-employed people. And so I have a business checking account. And I've had a business checking account for years. A business checking account. Checking. I have a savings account. A saving account. I have a personal checking account. And I have a credit card. And I have a credit card. All of my bills are funneled, that are come online, are funneled through a credit card. And this was a credit card that I paid money on, so it's secured by my own money. And so I have it was a secured credit, so it'd be like a line of credit. You pay it off every month, and so forth. So all the money that comes in goes in. It goes through this business checking account. Now you're gonna have to save for taxes. You have to have because you have to pay taxes on, because if you're self-employed, you're in the full brunt of paying for everything. And so things that from your money, business money, it goes from business checking, it goes into savings, and then it goes into personal, because you have to save money, have to have a bit of saving money. But in order to stabilize your finances, having a line of credit is a means to stabilize your day-to-day finances. Having these 4 buckets. Now this is United States, and I live in the United States, and this is how I, as I said, when I've been self-employed and things, this is how I conduct my life and my business, in needing to have these 4 buckets to put. And I have all these buckets, they're just inactive. these buckets to put the money into, the business checking account, and then you have to make sure that you have enough money to pay all your taxes, to pay that, and then you want to put money aside that's for into savings. And so you know what those rates are, you know what your tax rates are, you know all of those things. And but sometimes, things are unstable because that's the way business is. There's nothing stable about it, and a lot of times there's no way to predict how much money you're going to make tomorrow. And so that's where having a line of credit comes in. That's where having a line of credit comes in, and it makes those bumps. But at the same time, you have to have a handle on what the money is going to in your personal life. And oftentimes, I mean, my sister had her own. She's been self-employed for, gosh, like 20 years, and still struggles financially. And so not everybody who is self-employed is going to be comfortable. Okay, is going to be comfortable in their finances. And so that struggling, Hadi, is teaching you something. I'll give you a reading, and you'll be my last person for the day, Emil. So anyway, that's just a piece of practical advice, is how you can stabilize your finances by having a bunch of different accounts. Having a savings account is absolutely necessary, because you have to save one, you have to save for your taxes, and have the money money comes in through the business account, and then is distributed. But this system, providing money is still coming in, having a line of credit can really, really take the edge off. All right. I hope that helped. And so I'm going to move on to Emil's question. And thank you very much. And this is for anybody who's self-employed. Yeah, exactly. Being patient, being less impulsive. Exactly. You're welcome, Hebdi. You're welcome. But yeah, this here, having and part of it, this is really having a structure like this. A structure like this can really, help anybody who is self-employed, because if you, especially in the United States, you can cut the savings account out. But a savings account is really, really necessary. Yeah. A blueprint for everyone. Because you can cut this step out, but you cannot, these other three things, the thing is, when you have that credit thing, you cannot, I think that, you have to have, it can't be, you can't, if you overspend on the credit, you're just going to bust yourself. Having the credit card is so that when you, let's say, the power bill, You have the power bill, and the power bill is on an automatic payment, and then so it automatically is paid every month. The rent automatically paid every month, automatic payments, and these things, and you're going to be paying those things, but this helps to smooth things over for those times when nothing comes in. But that's the important of having a line of credit. Now, we're not saying credit card. I'm calling it a line of credit. A line of credit. Because you cannot operate a business without a line of credit. And when you are self-employed, you have no way of knowing how much money you're going to make on a week-to-week, a month-to-month, a year-to-year basis. Anyways, that's all I got for you. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to put that over here, and we are going for the for a general reading for Emil. All right. If you're still there, Emil, I'm going to put some of my cards away and general reading does not need a relationship deck. General reading does not need something incredibly nuanced, so we want something more general. Oh, I don't have my my other card, so we'll go. I'm gonna first start out. We have to clear the air. You just learned something a little bit better. Okay. I'm gonna go to Emil. I'm gonna write his. We're looking at $827 and a general. General. Okay. Let's clear the air. I feel like somebody's gonna knock on my door in a second here. Okay, let's go. This is for Emil. Let's bring our mind to Emil. Okay. Emil, I'm going to start first by getting you a page number and a general energy number here. We're going to start with a page number. So we're going to start with a little bibliomancy for Emil. What does he need to know? Page 4, we have 4. It didn't have a lot of velocity to it, but 4, 2, 4, 2, 7, 427, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, first off, we're looking at foundations. Okay, Glenn, I'll do you last. And then I'm going to have to do some things outdoors, and I have some caregiving duties to attend to. Four, two, 7. Foundational. It's a foundational thing. Inner spirit, and then you're like what's that, strength? If I looked at what does that represent in seven? What is seven? Seven, I think seven was a chariot. So let's take a look at those energies in the tarot, the biblical tarot. I just need to, let me get the 7 card out, because that's this one, 1-7. I'm not sure of a, it's another 7. 7 of grains. But I'm kind of feeling like it's a chariot. It's that 7. We'll just take a, while I'm looking up your page number, let's just have you take a look at these energies here of your 4, 2, 7. 4, 2, 7. And the 4 being a more of a command and leadership place. But all of this adds down into that number. It reduces down to the number 4, but which is sort of a foundational place, and that you are thinking October 4th. Yeah. So we're looking at the number 4. Mostly the number 4. But in this, because the energy reading that I did before I stopped here, when I started this thing, was 4-2, was 5-4-2. It was pretty, it was 5-4-2. But 4 and 2, but 7, so we're looking of moving forward in your life. But what's here is you have this inner spirit, your intuitive self. Your intuitive self balanced out by your emperor, that sense of controller, the king, this kingly. Hold on. All right. Anyways, that's kind of just how the breakdown here. You have, so as you've got this balancing act here. Between these two states, these states of being, that inner king, and you think of all of what that king means to you. One who's wise, wisdom, but there's also a sense of that need to control, to lead, but to control things. But then that's balanced out by this inner spirit, this Mary Magdalene spirit of mystery, of deep mysteries from the universe, deep mysteries in your life. And you think of that word that is written on your heart. And we're looking at of a spirit like this. The word that was written on the heart of Jesus, that is written on the heart of, if I don't know, I'm going from my mythological background. And this is what I have learned, but it doesn't mean that it's your mythological background. That's what we're, not really there, but that there is this universal thing that is written on your heart, and the balancing between the day and the night, the light and the darkness, because all of us have a light side and we have a dark side. Every one of us has a shadow self, and we get in trouble when we do not acknowledge the fact that our shadow self exists, and we hide it away. And whatever that shadow is for you, you have that. And this is a call to balance that out in yourself, and with some acknowledgement to that. And then there's the 7, the chariot, this moving forward, going forward, charging ahead. But all of this is all about the number 4, which is your foundations. And so let's go take a look at 427. Was that what it was? Yeah, 427. I'm going to see what I can find on 427, a word for you. 427. And this is my missal, and I'm just using it as like an oracle. An oracle that has 1,500 pages in it. 427. Which is this page right here. And on page 427, we have, their eyes were opened and they recognized him, whereupon he vanished from their sight. They said to one another, were not our hearts burning inside us as he talked to us on the road and explained the scripture to us? They got up immediately and returned to Jerusalem, where they found the 11 and the rest of the company assembled. They were greeted with the Lord. The Lord had been raised, it is true. So the sense of your interior spirit being raised again, acknowledging your spiritual self, your higher self, the Lord of your life, whatever that is. Being raised up, but this is in a sense that this is a positive Lord, not like a shadow Lord. Being raised up. He appeared then, okay, and then they ended with a meal, the breaking of the bread, a sense of a mystery. So this is about a mystery and the need for mystery in your life. So in working on your foundation, I'm going to write down what we are looking at. We're going to write down a sense of your foundation and a need for mystery, mystery, and the ascension of your higher self, or your spirit, your animating force. And so we're looking at your governing philosophy. It's the building of your foundation, your governing philosophy. Governing philosophy. PHIL. what idea, what concepts govern your life? Ten four. So you're looking at 10 4 5. Change. But what's the birth year? So we'll look at these kinds of spirits, but we want to look at, if you're still there, I hope that you're still there. That's just pulling these numbers out and looking at what those are, and the resurrection of, so something has died and you are being born again, but it's not a rebirth. It's a little bit different. Resurrection is different than rebirth. It's a different kind of a thing altogether. It's similar, but in a resurrection, one comes from a state where they were, where those things that did not give you life are gone. That's kind of what resurrection, in this sense, what we're looking at resurrection. If you're looking at a holy text as an oracle, you're looking at a story, a mythology as an oracle. A resurrection is different than a rebirth. It's different from, let's say, a baptism, which is a beginning, an initiation into a sense, or you're the fool and you jumped off the cliff and you just started that journey, and you're starting that journey. That's that. A baptism is like that, like a fool card, like what the fool card, the fool represents in the fool's journey. A resurrection is something different, and it's not rebirth. It's something different altogether. And so in this ascension, but it's mystery, it's resurrection. And resurrection, like I say, it's different. It is leaving behind what does not serve you. And so looking at your life and building your foundation, you have these foundational things, and moving forward through them. You have this spirit, the divine feminine spirit, the divine masculine spirit, the mystery, the discovery of that which is written on your heart, that source, what attracts you, what that source energy, and we're not talking that thing written on your heart. Now, where can you come into a touch with this? Going out and taking a walk in nature, getting your feet rooted on the ground, actually feeling rocks in the ground, feeling the earth, connecting to these other spirits, these more earthly spirits, connecting there, being quiet and just listening to your breath. This is not a quick thing. It is a slow thing. You're general reading here of what is Spirit wanting you to know, is that you need to connect to your spirit. You need to let go of everything that does not serve you anymore. Experience a resurrection of you becoming you becoming your true self. So when Jesus was resurrected, Jesus became his true self. He left his mortalness behind, and he became his true self. This is a continual process. The tarot, the mythology of the tarot, says that this rebirthing process is a continual process. It keeps on going on and on and on in our life until we come to some sort of ascended state. And sometimes we never get there. Building on your foundation. So let's just go, how do you connect? Okay, well, one of the ways, there are many, many ways you can connect. And like I mentioned before, with serving other people is a way to connect. You can connect by learning. Let's say you bring a dog into your life. Do you have animals in your life? If you have a dog or a cat in your life, that is a way you can connect, because you have to pay really close attention to learn how to listen to what they are saying, because animals talk, especially the domestic ones. They talk to us. Okay, so that's one. If you can't have an animal in your life, an animal is a good way to learn how to really to connect deeply with yourself. Spending time volunteering. Now, maybe volunteering at a hospital, but if you don't want to be around sick people, I can understand that gets you to, that's a highly social environment. Spending time volunteering your life to help those who are less fortunate. We love God by loving our neighbor. And love, and when we use this word love, we're really, it's the giving of yourself. You learn how to love yourself by giving yourself. You love God by loving your neighbor and loving yourself. By loving others. Being quiet. Maybe doing highly physical activities like exercise, like running. One of the things that exercise can do is it can connect you it can connect you into the now. It can connect you into right now. The more time you spend in right now, is the more time you spend here. That's how you can is spending time in this moment, in this exact moment. And this moment is the place where one of the signs you can know that you are in this moment, you are in the right now, is one, you are not worried about what happened yesterday. You're not worried. You're not anxious about where your next meal is going to come from. You're not anxious about things. You're not thinking about your trauma. You're not thinking about the woundedness of your heart. Those things that concern you are not concerning you. You're just here. one of the most, in my life, one of the most healing things that I'd ever done was social dance. Like, in United States, we're looking at contra dance, and contra dance came from the old country. It came into this country from the old country, and in the United States, contra dance became square dance. It's a colored-based dance form, and it you are with a lot of different peoples. You're with a lot of peoples at the same time, and it's not necessarily a sexual thing. It's just a thing. It's an activity that is fast paced. You exert a lot of energy doing it. You sweat, you move, you spin, and in that spinning, you don't have time to think about all those things that worry you, and you're just, all that stuff just vanishes. It just vanishes. And you get put right into this place, right into the now. And that is a place of connectivity to a different reality, a different state of being. And that's really what you're looking at. You're looking at, it's not necessarily at some magical place. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as just being present in the moment with yourself, with other people, silent. Another way to do this, if you are a religious person, or if it's like go to a Catholic mass in a church where there is a pipe organ, a big choir, and go sit right behind, sit really near where all that sound comes out. Sit near where all that sound comes out, where you have this big sound. And maybe you sing along with it. No one else can hear you, but you sing along with everyone, with that big pipe organ sound blasting around you. No, your neighbor right next to you can't hear a damn word you're saying because they're being blasted out, but you're singing, and you are being attentive in that moment. That's one of the ways you can connect. These are ways you can connect by physically doing different things. I don't know if that helps any. I'm just sort of soapboxing right now, because so I seem to be right here on my soapbox, and a general reading, and maybe just a few things to work on. A few things to work on is we have is here a sense of one of the things it says here, which you can work on as well, is finishing what you start, letting go of your perfectionism in your work, letting go of the negative aspects, your perfectionism, but at the same time working hard. So if you are a perfectionist, there are things in, you're not asking you to do sloppy work, but it's asking you to do the work and not become ashamed and so forth when you fail at that job. And then also gaining some harmony in your life. some partnership. This can be a spiritual partnership. This can be a romantic thing. If you are with somebody, it's working on those bonds, working on those love bonds with others, connecting with others in partnership, because you cannot do this alone. There are some things that you can do. Okay. The bottom card shows that there's a bunch of too many burdens here. You have a lot of burdens that okay, that one is there. So what it does show is you have a lot of burdens, but at the same time we have this feminine energy here and this need to connect up to a feminine energy. This is, maybe it can be like earth energy, because I mentioned that, connecting to earth, connecting to nature, forming a partnership with nature, with that feminine spirit. When we looked at that number 2, which is that Mary Magdalene. Purna, I got to look at the time here. Oops. I'm coming up on my needing to do some caregiving duties here. I have one other person before you. And so did that help, Emil? Did that help? But the sense of needing to lift up your burdens because you feel overburdened, and let go of this stuff. Okay, it did. All right. And if I do one other thing, and how I lump these energies together, I'll move my soapbox out of the way. So build up your foundation, your governing philosophy, learn how to love others, work in partnership with people, and you refer back to here. You're looking at 11, 21, 22, 29, 11. It looks like it's this number 11 has popped up more than one time today. And 5. So it's in this sense, you're out of balance. You're out of balance. And you need to rebalance yourself. That's what the numbers are telling me here. And then you need to make some changes. And you need to challenge yourself. And if you make the changes, you're challenging yourself, and you rebalance yourself, you can gain a new sense of freedom. That's what I got. That's what I got for you, Emil. Thank you very much. And Glenn, let's say, Glenn, I don't have time to do 2 more generals. I don't have time to do 2 more generals, but Glenn? Well, Glenn, you're next. It's Purna. What I'm trying to say with Purna, I don't have the time to do yours tonight. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, providing I don't have any migraine headaches or anything for having to get up insanely early tomorrow. So, I got up insanely early yesterday, and I ended up with a migraine and 8:27. And but I'm planning on coming on tomorrow. It'll be late afternoon, probably early evening. Well, anyway, Glenn, you're next, and you want a general. All right, let's clear the air. For Glenn. What does Glenn need to know? Let's just do 4 tarot cards. It's really 5 because it's the one on the bottom as well. For everybody lurking in, if you can like the video, it would be good. For the do the algorithm stuff, like and subscribe if you like the stuff going on here. That's all right. I should have some more of my tea. All right. All right, Glenn, tell me when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Oh, stop. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take a look at the bottom one here. Maybe it makes sense in a context here. So it looks like you're barreling forward with whatever you're doing. You're moving forward and you're moving fast, and you're coming into some kind of balance. You're coming into balance with yourself. This is what the result is. Being a bit more self-assured, being a bit more confident with yourself in your emotional state. Tossed around on the waves, but you're fine. You're doing it. You're barreling forward. You are going into a state of success, but you're still hot-headed. You still take actions without fully thinking them through. And as a result, the sun feels a little bit dim in your life. Maybe the fog has descended over your eyes and you can't really see that full blast of sunshine ahead of you, but you're still barreling forward. And then also, in that, there's some pessimism. But the final result of that is this, of the King of Cups. But yet, one other thing coming is this. There's a big tower moment. So what it looks like, Glenn, is that you're going to hit a wall soon. You're going to slam into a wall. But in order to get through this, you're going to need to really balance yourself out. Balance your emotional state out, because you're tossed around on these waves, and rather than being like all seasick, because these other energies suggest that you could be seasick in this moment, but if you were in all this energy moving forward, this brashness, the dimness of the sun, this fog over your eyes, and delusional ideas or unrealistic ideas will cause a moment where you're going to slam right into a wall, and it'll feel like your whole world is coming apart, coming unglued. But don't worry, I drew this card for myself last week too. So we all go through stuff like this. Let's see. Let's go just take a look at those numbers, man. Upright, and we're just going to separate them by upright to downright energies. Let's look at the down energies and then the up energies. We are looking at 19 plus 17, 10 and 10, that's 20, 27, 27, 36, 46, 48, 4 plus 8. So we're looking at 48, 48, and that's the down energy, and then the up energy is, let's just take a look here. Let's see what the numerical governing of this energy is from that. And we're looking at 7, 17, 11, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27. And the up energy is 27. So we're looking at 9 and 12, or 3. So what I see here is, 1, it feels as though you're not moving, you're out of balance, and as a result, you're not expressing yourself in a creative manner. So there's a lack of creativity in how you are solving problems. But yet you are approaching the end of a cycle, which shows in that tower moment that's that coming to the end of an experience, coming to an end of an experience here. And so with that hope is, with that one, that king of it seems as though the outcome here of all of this is this. This is of being this. The outcome, I think, here for you, Glenn, is this, is learning this, is that you need to learn this. You need to learn how, though the world is unstable around you, the waves are rocking and are rolling, being steady like a rock in the sea. And that's kind of what I see as is what the tarot is telling me anyways, what you need to learn here. And this is the inner, and by having your world come apart at the seams is one of the ways that you can learn how you weather through those storms. Anyways, that's all I got for you. And then eventually you're going to be coming back into another one moment. So 9 plus 3, that's another 12. It's 3. But then eventually things are just going to start right over again. All right, Cheryl. And Glenn, thank you. Thank you for letting me read for you. Perna, I'm sorry that I can't get to you today, but I will be on tomorrow. I'm providing everything works out right. And Emil, thank you very much. Maria, thank you. Chloe, thank you. Habdi, welcome, thank you. And Levi, thank you. Maria, thank you. And Humera, thank you. Kaz, thank you. And everyone else who popped in for a moment, thank you very much. And we'll see you the next time. Blessings and peace to everyone. I think what I will do, just one last card I'm going to pull for all y'all. We're going to see what Mother Mary has to say for all of us. But we'll start first by clearing the air because we will move over just to all of us. This is a word for us. Mother Mary, a word for all of us here hanging out. A word for us. If you're still there, Perna, you can tell me when to stop. Well, it looks like it, or someone can tell me when to stop shuffling there. Anyone there in the chat just want to tell me when to stop shuffling? And that'll be the word for all of us. Now, okay, here it is. It is Our Lady of Great Power. Take care not to allow an optimistic attitude to override discernment in an issue in need of repair. It is and denial creates an undercurrent of anxiety and an intuitive sense that something is wrong but not being openly acknowledged. Without acknowledgement, constructive solutions are not sought or implemented. With hope in your heart, give voice to what isn't working, then ask Our Lady for help. She is of unlimited recourse. Is to approach problems with realism and reality. And so this is the image for us, the message for us. She's holding on to us to help us through those passionate issues and those problems. To look at things with a clear eye and a clear vision. All right. Oh, one of my lights just burned out. Looks like it's time. Yeah. Okay, well, that's what we got for you guys. Thank you very much. And we'll see all you all the next time. Bye-bye.